Artificial intelligence and your data will make Google, Microsoft, and Meta trillions and trillions of dollars, unless you can be part of this revolution to get people to pay for your data, and you can with UpRock. So I'm going to tell you all about it because I understand it really to its core principles. So this is their Twitter. I don't have a million pages to show you. You could probably work on something like that in the future, but for now, I'm just going to show you the app and basically talk to you about what it all means. This is the app here. You can now get it on your iOS, but it's available on Android, and essentially it's a standalone application. So how it currently works is you have big tech, your Googles, your Microsofts, your Metas, plenty of other ones in there of course, and they essentially have massive servers, and they go and grab and crawl as many websites as they can, as fast as they can. They pull all this information, they put it through a language learning model, and this is new technology. This is stuff that I don't fully understand. I understand it better than the average person. However, it moves so fast. This is one of the technologies that it's moving faster than crypto in many aspects. So what can you do to make this better? Well, Jesse, who's the founder of UpRock, has already mentioned this simple fact. The simple fact is data is worth more than oil. We all know this is true. And if you don't know it's true, it generally resonates as being some sort of truth. So what is UpRock actually building? If you go through their website, it's all laid out pretty clearly, but essentially, I think it needs my own kind of explain like I'm 5 approach. On my phone, this is using some of my bandwidth, and I've got a decent connection, like a gigabit connection. It uses some of that in the background to go and browse the internet. It's using it as a standalone application. You can think of it as a web browser, like Brave or like Chrome, only you can't input any information. The browser knows your IP address, but it doesn't know where you've visited. It's not taking any data on like what your favorite car is or anything that you may be using all the time, what your favorite tokens are, nothing like that. It doesn't have access to your actual data. Instead, what the most unique thing is the fact that your IP address represents you in a particular country. And even in a particular country, you can see different results depending on where you are. I was speaking to someone recently in Pakistan, maybe a couple of months back, and they basically had very close to each other, like a couple of 100 kilometers from each place. They had like elections going on, or there was some political turmoil, and they had media companies putting out different things in different areas. And even if you clicked on the same link, you'd see different content. It was quite insane. So how is your data actually valuable? If someone has my data from the headless browser, basically something that doesn't know anything about me other than the fact that I have a particular network, I have a particular IP address, that sort of stuff, then it's not actually valuable. But it is valuable when you compare it against tens of thousands of other IP addresses around the world. Then you can see all sorts of information. Information that's simple, such as how long does a website take to load on this mobile phone? Or what is the price of this flight from here to here? The price of booking a flight from, say, Lisbon to New York will be different here compared to if someone books that same flight in Turkey. You'll also see small differences in prices if you go to Amazon from one country or another country, as well as different stock levels, ads, everything. Your data is being used to manipulate you in order to get you to buy things. And if you pull all of this data, you can tell it has value. It could be used for good or evil. It doesn't matter. You could use all this information to run a massive campaign to try and get yourself into, say, presidential spot. Or you could just use this information in order to launch a better product. The reality is, this is already happening. It's been happening for quite some time. The big tech giants, they have the data, and now's your chance to try and level up. So right now, UpRock is in its early stages. You're essentially sharing your resources, not your data. And if I mentioned sharing your data earlier, that's a mistake. You're sharing your resources, in particular, your IP address. That is what is most valuable. Without tokens, it will have a token generation event in the near future. And as more and more users join the network, UpRock can then go and sell that data, and you will be rewarded with the UpRock tokens, which of course will have some sort of market value. So now you're participating in this journey where you're actually being rewarded for your data. These next steps, how they pan out, I'm not entirely sure because no one's actually done it. Thus far, as far as I know, only the big Web2 companies, they're the only ones that have got involved. And at the end of the day, Web3 can allow companies and projects to have a much better moral compass. One major goal that I have personally is to try and find a way to educate people better and better and better. And in the future, try and get people to get along and to be able to debate in a clean way without going to war, as an example. And this is where I have major alignment. because a liberated internet is much better. Currently, the internet and media is just bent on pushing people apart for the most part, where in reality we have so many things in common with other people. And if the internet showed that, we would get along much better. So really, in a nutshell, UpRock is all about using people's resources, rewarding them for their resources. They get the data, they then feed this into AI models, it becomes valuable, people want to buy it, and it disrupts the Web 2 giants. That's essentially the mission from my understanding in a quick little video. So the actionable is simple. Go and grab yourself an Android app or an iOS app, or you can even put this on your Mac. Earn some tokens and help build some better data. That's all for this video, and in the next video, I'll talk about the D Pioneers NFT, which I'm very bullish on. Catch you in that video.